Hello everyone, let's try this again. I'm sorry I'm a little late today. I was finishing designing the cards and I ran out of time. So I had to finish, and then I tried to go live, and when I first started it, it was portrait again. So I don't know why that was, but here we are. I think we're in landscape mode. If you are catching me live, you can comment and let me know that we are facing the right direction for sure. That would be great. And of course, say hello if you are watching live or later. I love to say hi back and know that you're watching. So today we are going to be using the Trusty Tools Bundle. This is a great masculine set. I'm excited it's carrying over to our new catalog. And I especially like this one because my dad and my father-in-law and my husband are all very handy. So this set is perfect to make them some cards. So there is the stamp set, and then you've got this awesome set of dies. Of course, you have all the ones that will cut out the images in the stamp set. That's all these open ones. But then you have this fun corkboard type look that you can use for a background piece. You've got a drill that you can create with the different dies, and that's not even a stamp in the set, so that's fun. This wrench is a standalone die. There's a few that will create a toolbox. You've got your little nuts and bolts, and then you've got the extra pieces for like the hammer and the wrench that can be cut out of like a silver foil or something if you wanted to get all fancy. And you've got your top of your paintbrush here. Lots of fun little dies in this set, and we're going to use almost all the stamps today and quite a few of the dies, so you really get to see the whole bundle here. So let me move this out of the way. Now, if you remember during Celebration, we had a coordinating designer series paper that went along with this set. And I collected a bunch of extra of that paper. So very soon I'm going to be offering a class with that paper that I collected and this bundle, of course. I do have to admit that I have overcommitted myself to things recently and I am behind. So if you are waiting for a card kit from me, it is coming and I'm working very hard to get those out this week. But because of that, I haven't designed the class with my extra designer series paper yet. So stick tight, it is coming. Okay. Hello, I can see, oh, Tracy, is that you that said hi? I can see part of your comment. You know, Facebook. Okay, so I have all the pieces of my first card here. Some of my cards are doing double duty this week. If you have seen me post, my team is doing a tic-tac-toe challenge right now. It is our final week, and so every week we have to complete 3 projects using a row of a tic-tac-toe board. And one of the squares this week is using no white or vanilla cardstock. And that is super hard for me because I think I use white on every single card. But I'm introducing a new color to you today. This is Basic Beige, and it is a new neutral color that is coming in our new catalog next week. And I think it is a great substitute for white when you can't use white. And it fits with these colors, I think. So I have a Misty Moonlight card base. This is 5.5 by 8.5. And we're just going to stamp those nuts and bolts around the edge of the card in Misty Moonlight ink. So we're stamping tone on tone. Hi, Mary. I can see your name and not your comment. Facebook is being super funny today about what it is showing me. Okay, so you know what? I'm going to start on this side. So if you want this to look kind of random, but not be super random, you're just going to turn your block a little bit every time. And then it will look random, but it's just an easy way for you to not make it the same every time. And I'm going to go all the way around the edge here, but as you can see on the card, we are going to cover a lot of it up except for the edge. So it does not have to be perfect. And if you wanted, you could just do kind of like the corners on either side or something too. You didn't have to go all the way around, but I thought it was kind of a fun border. And I like these little stamps and stamp sets for doing things like this, making a border around the edge or going off the opposite corners. I suppose I should see if I can see your comments more. You were probably telling me if we are facing the right direction or not today. It looks correct to me. But Facebook is playing games today, I think. So, all right. I think that's good. I'm going to close up that ink and wipe off my board so we don't get ink on anything else. Now, if you would like the card kit for today's cards, you can place an order with me this week. I will put a shopping link in the description when I'm done, or you can use this host code. And if you spend more than $40 before tax and shipping, you'll get the card kit. And if you spend more than $50, I'll double the cards. Now, you might know that I'm having a BOGO sale right now. That's in a separate group, and that will be a separate shopping link. So you can't double dip and do both, but if you want the card kit, you can use the shopping link that I will post in the description here. So now I have a piece of Night of Navy, and this one measures 3.5 by 4 3/4, and I'm just kind of going to angle it just a little bit. And then I've cut a piece of pecan pie that is 2.5 by 4. I think it's 2.5. Forgot to bring my measurements in here again, so we'll measure on here. Yep, 2.5. Now, I used my seal on the back of this the first time, and I guess it doesn't show. I was thinking it showed through more. You can't really see it. You could use glue if you want. I'm just going to use my seal, and it will go through the holes, but we are putting other stuff on top of it. So if that bothers you, use your glue, and then you won't see it. Let's see if I can see the comments. Well, not really. Okay. We'll see. It's just not giving me very... Oh, it's Sharon, not Tracy. Okay. Hi, Sharon. All right. I can see your name at least. It doesn't show me too much of the comment. Okay. So I have glued that on. And now I have all my pieces that we're going to stamp on. This I've cut out of smoky slate, just using the dies. And then I have a piece of crumb cake here. We're going to stamp our paintbrush. And I am going to use my Memento Black to do that. The other nice thing about this stamp set is that it's a 2-step stamp set. So some of the pieces, instead of coloring, you can just stamp and it will look like you colored. So there is our paintbrush. And while I have the black out, I'm also going to do my tape measure. And this is on a piece of basic beige. And now we're going to use our other stamps to color these in. So let's see here. I'm going to get my real red for the tape measure. And I have this stamp here that's just going to fill in this part. I think that's the right way. It doesn't match up exactly. It's pretty close though. There we go. And then I'm going to pull in my pecan pie and do the handle of the paintbrush. So I'm kind of lining up the hole first and then the rest of it. Like that. Now I wanted to add a little bit more coloring to my tape measure. So I have my smoky slate Stampin' Blends here. And I'm going to start with the dark and just kind of follow along the shading that is already in the stamp. So that is the nice thing about our stamps. A lot of times they have that shading in there and you just have to follow that with your markers. And then I'll come back in with my light. And I like to color over where the light and the dark overlap, and that just kind of helps the colors blend a little bit better. There we go. All right, and then I have another piece of basic beige that I've cut with our Nested Essentials dies. And I'm going to stamp the Dad in Misty Moonlight. And we'll do that across the center. Oh, it looks like there's something yucky on my ink pad. Hold on a second. That's going to show up if you see that? There's some crud on there. All right, I'm going to pick a different part of the ink pad. All right, that looks better. Stamp our Dad, and I'm going to be using this stamp on the next card. So we'll try and clean most of that blue ink off. This cleaning cloth that comes with the glass mat is great, but in Arizona here, it dries out super fast. So mine is not that wet anymore, even though I wet it right before I came live. Okay, and then we have our thank you. And I'm going to stamp that in Night of Navy, so it's a little bit darker over that Misty Moonlight. And you can see I have other stamps on here because I was running out of black, so I am using my blacks. Now you could go right in the middle if you want. I went a little bit off to the side. Either way is fine. Okay, I think we've got all our stamping done. So now I can attach this piece, and I'm going to do that with some dimensionals. And then we'll use the dies to cut out our paintbrush and our tape measure. So that goes there. Now we'll pull out our dies here. I've got my tape measure and my paintbrush. Okay. I think I can fit these both on here at the same time. I know you can't see them both, but they're both on there, I promise. So line these up and hopefully they will stay in place. I meant to bring a Post-it in here and I forgot that too. You can use washi tape or a Post-it to kind of hold them in place. Or you can set them down and say a prayer like I'm going to do. Okay, that one didn't want to stay. We'll see. I might have to do one at a time just so I have a little more control. There we go. And not all of the dies will fit in our mini machine, but almost all of them will. I think it's just that bigger corkboard piece that would be too large. So the rest of them will fit in the mini machine, which is nice. Okay, let me move that out of the way. Put the dies back. There is so many dies in this set. They are arranged on here just exactly so they all fit. So I'll put them back so I don't forget where they went. Okay, I am going to use my glue to attach these pieces because they are a little skinny for anything else. So we've got our wrench here. And I will put that on first. Let's see, kind of like this, I think I did. And then our paintbrush is going to go along the side here, and I am going to use a dimensional for that. And then a little bit of glue where it's going to stick down onto our sentiment. Like that. And then our tape measure I am going to also add with a few dimensionals. And that's going to kind of overlap a little bit. Okay, and then I thought it would be fun. Some paintbrushes have that little string on the end. So I used our Baker's Twine Essentials pack, and this is the crumb cake. And I'm just going to cut a piece off of there. And the paintbrush has that little hole so you can loop the twine through there. And I just tied in a little knot and then trimmed the ends. So it doesn't have to be real big, but it's kind of a fun little addition to the card, I think. And part of my tic-tac-toe challenge was to use twine, so that was the other reason, if I'm being honest. Okay, so there's that. And then we're going to finish off with a few of our classic matte dots. These are retiring. They're on sale for, I believe, only $4 something. And there is black ones in this pack too. I've just used all of my black ones. So we're going to use a few of the gray ones and add to the ends of our label here. Just like that. So there we go. There is our first card. What do you think? I was thinking especially of my dad and my father-in-law when I made this one because they are always helping us with projects around the house when they come to visit. So this would be a cute card to send them. All right, that is the first one. Let's scoot that out of the way. Okay, our next card is a Father's Day card. And this one also was part of our tic-tac-toe challenge. I told you I was double tasking a lot this week. And I used some of our Glorious Gingham Designer Series paper. That is retiring also. And is also on sale for $4 something, I believe. So it is a great deal. I used 2 of the colors. There's actually 5 colors in the pack. Berry Burst, Lemon Lime Twist, and Pretty Peacock are the other colors. But I love the gingham, and it's on sale for a great deal right now. Okay, this time I've got a pecan pie card base, 5.5 by 8.5. We'll fold in half. I could use white on this one, but I did use more of that basic beige. This is a really nice new neutral, and you'll be able to get it next week. So this piece is 5.25 by 4, and I have embossed it. Oh, I'm going to forget the name. I think it's the Timber 3D embossing folder. One of my favorites because it is a wood grain. And then this piece of the Designer Series paper, I'm measuring because I forgot my measurements again. Let's see. It looks like it is 3.5 by 2. And I used the pecan pie. You could use either side of the pattern if you wanted to. And then our little piece of blueberry bushel here is 1.5 by 1.5. Then I've cut a circle out of white with our Stylish Shapes dies, and we are going to ink up that dad stamp in pecan pie. Like so. And then I brought in the blueberry bushel to do my Happy Father's Day and match my Designer Series paper. And this one, I believe, is 2 3/4. Yeah, 2 3/4 by 1/2 inch. You could stamp your sentiment and then trim it down too if you don't like to stamp on such a small area. But if you get the card kit, you'll get a small piece like this. So you can always cut your own if you want. Okay, we are going to do some coloring on this one. So I have a little bit larger piece of white here, and we're going to stamp our hammer and our wrench. This is a wrench, right? Or is that other thing a wrench? I don't know. You can tell I am not super handy. Are they both wrenches? You're going to have to let me know. My brain is fried. Okay, so we can stamp both of them, and then we'll do some coloring. There we go. Okay, so I was going along with the colors in the paper. I'm going to use pecan pie for the wooden handles, blueberry bushel, and then we'll bring back in the smoky slate for kind of that silver look. So I'm starting with my dark blueberry bushel again, and I'm going to do this like handle of whatever tool this is. This, I think the other one is a wrench. What is this one called? Oh man. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I don't know right now. And then for the hammer, we're going to do the handle. So I'm just following kind of the shading of the stamp again. And then I'll come back in with my light. Okay. I don't feel so bad because no one is commenting and telling me what this is called, so you must not know either. That makes me feel better, so thank you. I'm sure I do know what it's called, and if I heard it, I would say, why couldn't I remember that? When I moved out, my dad gave me a toolbox full of tools, and I have actually used some of them. A wrench. Okay, is that what I said? I don't know. Are both of them a wrench then? That smoky slate one that we used on the last card? I should switch to my brush end for this one. I mostly, if I have to use tools, it's probably a hammer or screwdriver, so. Okay. All right. And what is, okay. It's going back on my comments again. All right, well, Facebook, I guess you don't want me to see more comments today. Okay, I'm going to start with my dark smoky slate. And we'll do kind of the smoky slate is a good substitute for silver. So if you are trying to make something look silverish, silvery, I cannot talk today, you can use smoky slate. So I'm starting with my dark again and then coming back in with the light. And again, if you go over the areas that you've colored with the dark, that kind of helps blend the two together. I just love coloring with our Stampin' blends because you don't get those marker lines that you get with regular markers. And I think they're a lot of fun. Okay, for the hammer, we have this part that's usually wooden. So I'm going to do dark pecan pie up here and a little bit down the handle. And then we'll come back in with the light to finish that up. I have to say one of my favorite things about Stampin' Up! Is the coordination. You can use the same colors you used in the Designer Series paper when you are coloring, and everything matches, and I love that. Alright, again, I'm just following the lines that were on the stamp with my dark, and then we'll come back in with the light to finish it up. And you can even go back over those dark areas with your light. That not only helps blend the color, but every time you color over it again, it adds another layer of the color. So that also makes it a little bit darker in those spots. Like that. Okay, let me get my dies for the wrench and the hammer, if that is indeed what it is. I think I'm going to have to go Google it when I'm done here and see what a wrench looks like, and then we'll have to figure out what that other thing is. Okay, so even these two stamped together will fit through and won't be too wide. So I'm going to line my dies up. Oh, I forgot. You know what? When I did my first card, I think my hammer stamp is a little bit... the photopolymer stamps sometimes bend a little bit when you put them on the blocks, and mine seemed a little bit off when I die cut the first one. So I meant to fix it, but I forgot. So it might not match up exactly with my die because I think the stamp was a little bit bent on the block, but this one looks better than my first one, so I don't know. Maybe I was just having a problem when I die cut it the first time. You can tell that's the kind of day I'm having, right? Okay, I'm going to put those dies back again so they do not lose their spot. And now we can finish assembling. So I'm going to lay my circle down flat. Oh, thank you, Facebook. I have 3 new comments. Is it going to show them to me? Okay. Yep, if there's too much white, you run it back through. Yeah, see, my first one, it just would not line up. It was, I don't know. This one's a little bit better. So I'm going to use glue again on these because they're a little narrow. I suppose you could use mini dimensionals if you wanted to pop them up, but I want them to be kind of flat. So they're just going to kind of hang off the side, and I probably should have put my circle a little bit farther to the left, but that's okay. And then our wrench, like that. And then we're going to finish off with the Happy Father's Day, and that one I will pop up with dimensionals. And that can go across the bottom here. Okay, now I'm going to use the classic matte dots again. And one fun trick with any of our white or vanilla embellishments is that you can color them with the Stampin' Blends marker. So to match the rest of my card, I am going to use the dark blueberry bushel. And you want to do this while your embellishment is still on the sheet here, not on your card, otherwise you're going to make a mess. And you do have to be kind of careful, like I've done this with rhinestones before too. It will kind of eat up the brush of your Stampin' Blends a little bit. So you want to be gentle and just know that it could rough them up a little bit. But it is kind of a cool thing to make your embellishment match your card, especially if you don't have one that matches in the first place. All right, let's see. I'm trying to put these in the same spot I put them on my first card, so I don't have to think about it. And I just colored the vanilla ones this time, but you could color the white ones or the vanilla ones, and either one would work. So there's our second card. I really think this is a fun color combination too. So let me know what you think of that basic beige. I am excited for that new color. I think it will be great. Okay, time for our last card. This was the one I designed with like 10 minutes to spare. So it's kind of simple, but I think it's perfect for this time of year because the end of school is coming, Teacher Appreciation Week is coming, and the pencil made me think of teachers. So this is kind of a simple card that you could give to your favorite teacher. I think Teacher Appreciation Week is the week of May 7th. And if you saw my card the other day, I paired this sentiment with the mini alphabet dies, and you could totally do that on this card too and spell out the word teacher. So this sentiment I think is the most versatile in this stamp set because it can be used for a lot of different things, a lot of different people, not just for your masculine cards. Okay, this time I have a thick basic white card base. And then I have a piece of real red that is 5 1/4 by 4. And I was just kind of going with a school primary color scheme here. And then I have a piece of crushed curry. This is just 1/8 of an inch smaller. So it is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And we're going to stamp our outline of our pencil. And actually, I'm going to take this other one off for now. I'm going to do the outline of our pencil. Maybe I'll take this one off too. And we won't make so big of a mess. Okay. Excuse me. I have crushed curry ink on crushed curry cardstock. So just like in the first card, we're going to stamp tone on tone. And this one, you just have to be careful since it's such a narrow stamp. It's easier to get excess ink on here. So just make note of that when you are inking your stamp, not to press too hard. And this one, I'm just being super random and turning the pencil around. And just trying to fill in the empty spots and go at different angles. Some of it will get covered up on the bottom here. All right, that's probably good. And let's see, you know what, while we have that out, I have a piece of white here, and I'm going to stamp 2 pencils to die cut for my sentiment label. So you can see this is just the outline of the pencil, but we do have another stamp that will fill in so that you do not have to color, which is fun. So this one I'm going to stamp off first and then fill in my pencil. And that way it's just a little bit lighter so you can still see the outline clearly. There we go. Okay, now let's clean our ink off of here. At least most of the way. You can tell this is so dried out already. I really did wet it right before it came live, but it has been hot here and definitely dry. So, okay, and of course there is a die to run these through. There is only one die of the pencils, so we will have to do one at a time here. And this one is so narrow, so you probably do want to use washi tape or a post-it note to make sure that it stays in place, because there is not a lot of wiggle room. But we'll see what we can do here. Okay, I think that's going to be pretty close. Okay, we've got one. Ooh, that was pretty good. How's that look? Probably luck, though. I would use washi. I just need to get a roll of washi to have in here because I forget every week when I'm die cutting things. Oh, this one is trying to go wonky. I told you that first one was luck. Probably can't see in the screen, but it is moving every which way. Okay, stay. There we go. Okay, got our second pencil. Move that out of the way. All right, now we will finish. Oh, I have one more thing of stamping to do. Okay, I almost forgot. Got to do the sentiment. So this piece of white measures 3, oh, what did I say that was? 3 7/8, and I think by 1 1/2. By 1 1/4. Okay, maybe it was supposed to be 1 1/2. I don't know. Because I did think I was going to have a smaller border there, and then I didn't, so I probably measured wrong. Okay, crushed curry again for our sentiment. 3 7/8 by 1 1/4. And I'm going to stamp closer to the right side here. And I must have picked a not very juicy. You know what? I'm going to do that again. A not very juicy part of my ink pad. I re-inked this one not that long ago, but there must not be as much ink in that part. Let's see if this is better. That one is better. Okay. 2 sides to the cardstock. That is what I always tell people. Okay, so now we're going to adhere this piece. And that one just has a very narrow border. And then I have another piece of real red. And this one, oh, this one is 1 1/2. Okay. So this one is 1 1/2 by 3 7/8. And the other one's 1 1/4. So then you have a little bit of a border. So I guess I did measure right. Double guess it. Second guessing myself. Okay, and then our pencils, you want to use your glue again. And I suppose if you were thinking about it, you could use adhesive sheets on the back of these before you die cut. And then they would be a sticker and you wouldn't have to worry about the glue. And I'm just going to cross them. Like that. And then I'm going to use some white baker's twine. This is from that same Baker's Twine Essentials pack. And I like to have about this much to tie a bow. So when I do a double bow, I just double that. Cut it in half. And then we can tie our double bow. You could just do a single bow if you wanted to. And then we'll trim our edges. And I'm going to adhere this with a mini glue dot. Right where the pencils cross. And then we're going to do the same thing that we did on our last card. I thought you could color these red if you have a real red Stampin' Blends marker. But I thought the blue was another primary color and it just added another pop of color. So I just went with the blueberry bushel. And if you wanted, you could use the white ones, but I thought the extra color was kind of fun. So we'll add those on to our card. And I'm using my Take Your Pick tool. I use it all the time, but I don't think I have mentioned it recently. This is my favorite tool. I think it's still $10. Maybe it went up in price, but it is the handiest little thing. It's probably my best seller of all the things I've ever sold. Because it has the sticky end, it has the piercing tool end, it has this little spatula, and then it has a scoring tool, and there are extra attachments you can buy for it now. Lots of fun things you can do with that tool, but it's only $10. If you don't have one, I highly recommend them. Okay, so there is our third card, Simple and Sweet. So let's bring in all three again. Move these stamps out of the way so I try not to make a mess. Here is the third one. Let's see. So there are 3 cards today. Remember, if you would like a card kit this week, you can use this host code, or I will put a shopping link in the description that has that host code attached. Shop now. You have an extra day this week since I was live on Wednesday instead of Thursday. So now through Tuesday, you can shop to get this week's card kit. You need to spend more than $40 before tax and shipping, and if you spend more than $50, I'll double the cards and send you a card kit to make 2 of each. So that is a lot of fun. And as I stated earlier, it cannot be combined with my BOGO sale. That is a different host code and a different special. Now, before we go today, I have to talk to you about something that was announced yesterday. Some of you know our new catalog is starting next week on May 1st. There are so many good things in it, and of course, everyone's favorite is the new in colors. So Stampin' Up! Announced yesterday a starter kit special, and you get the new in colors for free with this special. It's an $82 value, and you'll get all of these things pictured for free in addition to your starter kit. So it's $99. You get to pick out $125 of product, whatever you want, and then you get this for free in addition to that. So it is a really good deal. There is no shipping on the starter kit. So if you have seen some of the new products, you have a long wish list, or maybe you just want these new in colors, this is a great way to get them. And this special starts with the new catalog on May 1st and runs through May 31st. So I had to mention it today. We're going to be talking about it more next week because I'm going to be featuring the new in colors. But I wanted to mention it today, and maybe you want to start thinking about your first order from the new catalog, and this might be a good option for you because it will save you a lot of money, and it's a fun way to get those new in colors. Next week, my parents will be in town visiting, so I will not be live, but I will have a recorded video for you. Hopefully, I will be getting to record it this afternoon, and you can watch for that on my regular day, Thursday next week. So thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed today's cards, and I will see you again next week. Bye.